Today we are going to study about the simple CSS that you can use to control each and every button. So I hope you have followed the lesson that I have passed on my channel, YouTube channel, when I talked about the HTML for beginners, and now we are going to study about buttons, how to style button, how do button will look in HTML page, like on the website. You want to create a website, which kind of the button that you want to create. Here I will go step by step by showing you each and everything that you need to style the button the way that you like and the way it will appear. So simple. And I will be using different examples from either you want to create the button like that of Amazon, from YouTube, from LinkedIn. So I will go step by step so that you know each and everything without the problem. So you come here again and you create the folder. Yes, let's see, folder, new folder, and you can name it like button. Yes, and then you right click to open it with VS Code Studio. If you don't have the VS Code Studio that is installed within your computer, there is no other way that you can do coding. Just go and search for VS Code Studio, and I will be doing different comparison of coding software that you needed to use in the coming days, like brackets and this Visual Code Studio, other strong coding instrument that can code even that C++, C Sharp are there, and I will talk about it later. So let us continue. You come here, you open it with VS Code Studio, and now you can see our folder that is called the button. So it is not yet fully disapproved. You come on welcome and you just click there, and you come inside the file of button and you click button. You create the file that is called button.html. No, not this. You come again and rename it very well, button.html, like that. And then you come here by shift exclamation mark, you see the abbreviation, and you click enter. Automatically you get that simple button HTML. So how are you going to create the button? What is the several steps to follow while creating the button? You come here and create another file that will include the CSS. So you come here and click button.css, like that, and then you grab it and put it on another side. Now what is happening? Yes, you grab it and put it on another side. You come here again and Control S, Control Alt P to open it with Live Server. Please, if you don't have an extension of Live Server, you come here on extension and you search for Live Server when you are online, like this, and then you click on it so to install it. So you must install it. Without it, there is nothing that can appear upon your browser, because this is built in software inside the VS Code that triggers the browser to open the HTML and the JavaScript file as well as other files. So you come here again and you link that CSS, like link our style sheet, that is cascading style sheet, must appear like style sheet, and then this will be button.css, Control S to save. So you can create the simple header and say we are going to learn button. Yes, you can see Control S to save, and now you see our text is just disapplied there. And then you come here before you do anything, you come and say our body must have the box sizing of border box like that, padding 0 pixel, margin 0 pixel, and then with 100% all device width DVH 100, or the height of 100, the width, the device width, but you can say 100% also. It is the other form of the scale of the that body inside the HTML. So when you finally end this, you see padding and margin is 0, box sizing, border box, and nothing, and there is no other thing that we can follow. If you want to change the background color, you can say I want the background to be like, for example, beige, like that. Yes, and you come here again, you specify the height that you want and say that let's use only 800 pixels, like that. Control S to save, and now you can see our color, our background color of the body is changed. So I wanted to style that header 1. Let's change the font family to fancy, like that. You can see how it is changed. And now let's say that we want the color to be somehow blackish, but not black, like this. Control S to save, and now you can see it is somehow changed somehow. And now we are going to create button for learning. Button, let's call it button class, and give it class, for example, 1, and say our button like buy item. That is our button, and you can see the buy button is now displayed up in our browser. So to create button very well using CSS, you come here in the button and you say with max content, and you give it the padding inside of .3m, .6m, above and below. Then you Control S to see what happened. You can see our button is now being good, and now we can give it height and say we wanted the height of our button to be, for example, 40 pixels, and then you can see our button is clearly visible and very well. So let us give it transition. We will create mini button transition, or in 300 milliseconds is in and out. This transition will trigger everything that is related to the animation on that button. This transition goes with all things that we will do, and that we will do on the button, and it must take 300 milliseconds, and that will happen when the button comes either out or goes in. There is no problem with this. So again, you came here and say that you want to style button 1. You just click .1 for class, and then you want, for example, to be red. Background color must be red, you can see, but it is somehow shabby. We will take that border here and come here. We say that our border must be none, like that, and you see there is no border. Let us give it a margin of 10 pixels, or in all sides, and you can see how it is behaving. And then let us give it the border radius here, border radius of 5 pixels. Control S to save. And now you can see how our button is baying. So to change that color inside, you came here and say I want my color to be white. You can see. And if I wanted to change the font size of the word that is inside there, I say font weight. For example, I want this 500, which is in between. And now you can see, let's say 500, 700. Control S to save. And now you can see our button is very well. Let's do something on all our button. So let's say that when we have on our button our transform scale, to increase the scale, transform scale will be 1.02, like that. Control S to save. You can see when we have the size of the button now is doing something, coming out and in, changing the size, and now we want them when our button will be active. We come to button 1.1 active. When we click and hold it, our background color, we want it to change from red to somehow whitish red, like this. Yes, Control S to save. And you can see our button when we hover and when we click, you can see something is changing. You can see something is changing on our button, and our color is now being somehow red whitish. Yes, you can see button is now changing. And now we are going to create another button. For example, Control C, Control V to paste, and we call it 2. Must be 2. For example, that is the second button. We have not yet styled it. Its background must be white, so we want to style this button. Let's see our second button .2. Let's give it background color of green. You can see. And let's change that border radius to be, for example, 25 pixels. And now you will see somehow it have become more round. You can see it have become round. This is somehow round edged button. To create it, you also must have something like this. And let's increase our padding inside .4m.8m. You can see our button now have changed inside, and now you see our button is created. And if you want that inside the color to be white, you say our color must be white, like that. And you can see our button now is white. Now we are going to create the Amazon button. You can come here and Control V and call this button 3, Control S. But if we want something to happen, as you have seen, when I active on that button, it changes its background color, and you want to change somehow this button whitish. How will you do it? So that is your exercise, and I hope you will make it. So Amazon like button, you come here and dot 3, and you give background to color to be yellow like that, and the border radius to be 6 pixels, and you can see our button, it is very yellow. Let's change it to be somehow darkish yellow so that our color will be visible. You can see now our button. And now I'm going to make this button will be like with a color of also white, and you can see our button is now it is somehow like that of Amazon. So we are going to create another button like the buttons, like those buttons that is having background the color of black. You can come here on this again, and Control V to paste another button, and you call it 4, then the 4, and then let's our button have a background color of black like that, and you can see it is disapplied, and our color of the text there is not disapplied well. And you come here and say I want to make my color white. Control S to save. You can see, and now let text have a large font weight like this. You just come here and copy, Control C, then you come here, Control V, Control S to save, and now you can see our button is working very well. You see this corner, the button may be like this. You will find the button that is not having the rounded corner. This is right angled corner button, but also you can change it. You can even come here again and say that I want the button radius to be, for example, 7 pixels like that, and you can see our button is rounded. Yes, and it is working very well. You can also come again on this 4 and say that dot 4 active will be like, and dot 4 active will be background color. You want it to be, for example, it must be white while its color being, for example, its color, you want its color to be black, and with the border of 1 pixel solid black. You will see how our button now is going to behave. You see, when we hover, but when we click active, you see now our button is having the background color of white with a border of the with a border of 1 pixel, 1 pixel black colored, and you see the code is here, background color of white, border of 1 pixel solid black. So this is how we build our first board, our first kind of button that is just with simple things. Now we are going to create somehow a complex button like that, a button that is created by AI, when the button will be having either background image, either will be having a background, for example, color, back a border of somehow things like that. You come here, you may create the horizontal line and you say HR, Control S, horizontal line, and you can see the line is formed. Now you are going to light below that line and create more buttons that is having something that is different from what we have seen. So you came here and Control V. No, I have done the mistake. You come here and copy this, Control C, Control V, Control S. You can see nothing have changed, and now I'm going to change this button and I name it 5, Control S to save, and you came here, dot 5, you can see now dot 5, you can see I want to give it border of 1 pixel solid, for example green. You can see it have a line that is surrounding it with 1 pixel solid green, and I can make that simple by saying I want it to have the border radius of example 4 pixels. Control S to save. You can see now I have changed everything here, and I'm going to give the color of white to that inside color of green. You can see now button is like this with the background color of white and the border of 1 pixel solid green, and I want that the font weight to be also 700, like that. Control S to save, and now you can see something have changed to our button. And now I want this button, when I click on it, its background color to be green when it is active, and this color of the word that is inside the button to be white. How will I do it? So you come here again, and I want dot 5 active. You can see to have a background color of green, while the color of the text being white, like that. Control S to say save, and now you can see when I hover but active, you can see now the button is becoming green. That is another trick of making a very cool button. So you come again and you can create the button 6 that is having a shadow. I want this button 6 to have a shadow. How will I do it? You have seen many buttons that is having the shadow. How they have created it, I'm going to show you how they made it. Dot 6 like this, and you can see, let's say You have seen 6, I have created it. Now let's say I want its background color to be blue, while the color is being what? White. Yes, you can see I have made the blue button. Now I want its border radius to be, for example, 10. You can even say 10 pixels, and you can see it's made with the font weight of 700, like that. So another thing that I want to change here is how I can change its background to have something like shadow. You come here and say I want a shadow, like you say box shadow, like this, and you come, you say, for example, -1 pixel, 2 pixels, 3 pixel, and you say I want blue again, and you come here, you may change this blue like this, and you come at the top, thing like that, and you take somehow whitish blue, control save to save, and you can see something is formed inside behind the button. Can you see it? If I want to see that that shadow at very high quantity, I come here and write, for example, 13. You can see now the quantity have increased somehow. You see behind the blue is increasing. Let's say 40 pixel, and you can see now our button, the blue is somehow becoming there, like that. And if I want to keep it down, I can say I want that it come down by 5 pixel. You can see now our blue is coming downward there. And the reason why I put this one is that it is on x-axis. This is on x-axis, and this is on z-axis, and this is on y-axis, how this button will appear. And then you can come here and say .5 of the opacity, and you see something magical happens, that there is nothing that is being displayed there. But if you want to see very huge shadow, you can say I want this, and then you come and you go there, like you want it to be, for example, like that, and you come here and you increase like that. You remove this .5, Ctrl S to save, and now this 40 pixel you can make it, for example, 5 pixel, and you can see now our button have somehow box shadow that is behind it. You can see that is behind it, which is somehow greenish. That is the importance of the box shadow, and you will see them in different pattern. So I'm going to create the button that is having the background that is linear gradiented. Linear gradiented, you come, for example, I want you to create button 7. Background is gradiented. How to use gradients in the button? you may come here and say I want .7 to have the background color of linear gradient hope this function cannot work here. How? Yes, linear gradient, and you say to left, I want blue, and to right I want another blue that is behaving like this. Our blue again will be like that. Control S to save. Let's see whether there is something that has changed. I hope this property cannot be applied on button. To left, let's say to Control S to save. Let's see whether there is something that have happened. No, this background is not working. So this background of linear gradient cannot work here. It works on divs, and I will talk about it in the coming time. So comment it, there is no problem. So you come again on this button and say I want its border to be 2 pixel solid, lady, for example, black. You can see the size of our border have increased, and you say I want border radius to be, for example, 7 pixels, or you can say 8 pixels. Control S, you can see, and let's say the font weight that we want is, for example, that 700. You can see, and I want its background color is this black, but I'm going to make it somehow with a less opacity. The opacity is like that, and you Control S to save, and you can see button is somehow very interesting. This seems very well. And if you want to put the box shadow, you can come here and say I want also the box shadow to be 2 pixels, 3 pixels, 10 or 6 pixels. You use 3 coordinates, about x, about y, and about z. So you can even grab this thing. No, okay, black, for example. I want it to have less also opacity, but lazy. Control S to save, and you will see the box shadow is formed behind. You can see that is the box shadow. So thank you for following how we can make this button, and you see when you inspect the button is working very well. There is no other problem. Responsiveness, the button will work very well. There is no problem, and you can see they are very well, and they are beautiful. So go and make the button the way you want. It is very crucial, and it is for beginners, and I will be busy trying to find out how linear gradient can be applied to this simple HTML and CSS. So don't hesitate. This is the beginners class of CSS on styling the buttons. Thank you, and thank you very much. Don't forget to check the past courses if you're a beginner on this YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to get the subscribe button, you can come here on the button one and say, I want to be subscribed. Subscribe like that. Control S to save, and you can see it is the button like subscribe. And when you subscribe, it turns to somehow whitish red. So thank you for following the courses, and return back again for checking the new videos that I'll be uploading the next week.